nice, easy, smooth motion. The women tend to learn to roll a little quicker than men do, mostly because they've learned to rely on technique rather than muscling it up, and it's all technique. A little different, better weight distribution for rolling, but it's mostly technique. Guys try to muscle it, women learn to use technique. So the other thing is, if you're struggling with your roll, how fast you learn to roll is probably more a function of your dominant learning style, rather than, it has nothing to do with how well you roll once you get it. Visual learners who can see it and translate it into their body, those who have that dominant learning type usually learn to roll quicker. If you're a kinesthetic roller or kinesthetic learner dominantly, you have to feel it. And it takes a while to get it into your body, but once you do, you don't lose it. Whereas visual learners tend to lose it earlier on. So don't get discouraged if you struggle with the roll. Okay? So you can also, of course, do this non-extended. So why don't you do a non-extended roll either side, and then Tim, you can do one on the opposite side. Exactly the same technique, just the paddle's not extended. Okay? So notice we said that this is not power, it's technique. So I'm just going to do a shotgun roll. Very little pressure on my hand, my arm, just using that extended paddle, just sweep back, and really, I'm loading myself up. Now Tim isn't doing it, he's kind of cheating, because there's so much flotation in those. It's actually, though, it's easier to roll when you're doing it. You try to roll PFD on it, because the resistance of the water, of course, we're always, even in pools, we use PFDs because you're going to have it on, I hope, when you're paddling. But that's not the only way to roll with the paddle. So you can roll, it's the same technique if you do a forward recovering roll. So I'm going over, and these are good rolls to know, because at least for me, if I go over, I usually go over aft. If I'm surfing or something, I go over backwards, and then you don't want to have to haul yourself through the water and do a roll like this, so you can just recover going forward. You can really lean out a long ways with extended paddle sweep, and if you lose it, you just recover forward. So knowing a forward recovering roll is really helpful. Same thing, just in reverse. I simply swept forward, lifting with my knee, and creating lift with my paddle. But the paddle only supports your upper body. Your lower body's doing the work. Okay? Tim, you want to do a forward recovery roll of any sort? We'll do some blue and angel and stuff in a minute, and I'll do a storm roll in a minute.
Oh, okay. I'll mix it up a bit.
He's going to keep his paddle behind his head. The Inuits work with all kinds of different things to really work on that body rotation. But you can do it one hand on Aiden. Aiden likes doing an angel roll. So, the angel roll. Just pulling down on his paddle. You notice that I said that your body's floating in the water. One of the ways to rest paddling, to take your and we'll do this without a paddle in a minute, but to take the pressure off your seat is to flop over in the water. So I'm just resting here, lifting up with my leg, this hand under the gunnel if I want, pulling down a little bit with this hand on my paddle, and I can rest here for a long time. And that's the thing I told you about. You wouldn't paddle with somebody if they couldn't do that. It's called a static brace, because it's a way to rest, and it really does